Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 7 of the manufacturer series. Let's get this started. Bring yourself to the left side of the track, and your braking point is going to be when your car is in the middle of the light gray strip that is on the left. Brake hard for a moment, then trail brake. Try to get as close to the apex as you can before you start to fully accelerate. You can really take advantage of the track limits as you see here. Brake when the curb on the right ends, and you want to be very careful with the throttle here, as it's easy to both understeer and oversteer out of the track. You'll be easing off the throttle for these next 2 turns, and you want to get back on the throttle as soon as you can after you rotate the car to have a better exit speed. Brake before the yellow area on the right ends. Get the car rotated as fast as you can so you can be on full throttle as soon as you can. There are 2 ways to take this next part. The first way is to ease off the throttle when you're on the white curb right here. That way you can completely go around the sausage curb and get through it all safely. As you'll see here, I ease off the throttle and I go around the sausage curb. The second way is to go flat out and go on top of the sausage curb, and you have to hit this right and make sure your car has a clearance, because if you hit it wrong, your car will get hooked onto the curb and you'll fly into the wall. Then you'll start to trail brake right before the curb on the left goes away from you. Take advantage of the curbs here, do some throttle control, and then brake a bit more here. Get back on the throttle. It's a bit of a late apex. Then look for the digital flag that is on the left, as you'll brake right before you reach it. Make use of the width of the track. Turn in before the curb on the right ends. Go on to 3rd gear and carefully accelerate your way out. Your next braking point is when the red area on the right starts, and for this turn you don't want to take too much advantage of the curb or the lax track limits, as you want to be very careful with accelerating your way out of this turn. You can ease off the throttle here if needed, then brake when the curb on the left ends, and try to bring yourself all the way inside to the left side of the track. Be very careful with your throttle input. Make sure you straighten the car out, start to fully accelerate, and you are good to go. Let's quickly take a look at the strategies. For this race, it looks like it's going to be pretty straightforward in terms of strategies. You're either doing a 1-stop or you're doing a 2-stop, and it's all going to depend on your car and your driving style. The first strategy, which I'll have up here right now, is the 1-stop, where you pit when you're finishing lap 6, and the second strategy is a 2-stop, where you pit at the end of lap 4 and at the end of lap 8. We're only working with medium tires here, so you don't have to worry about hybrid compounds or any other compounds, just medium tires. Don't worry about refueling at all, because you have way more than enough fuel to last the entire race. If you're doing this race, I would suggest that you do a practice race. That way you can have a very good idea of whether you'll need to go for a 1-stop or a 2-stop. The reason why I say that is because, once again, your driving style and the car you're in will determine how much your tires will be wearing. In this specific race, I was doing the 1-stop, and that ended up being a nightmare for me, as my tires were pretty worn out at the end of lap 6. I had to go at a turtle's pace just to get this car to turn. So if you're in a GTR like me, then you might think about going with a 2-stop strategy. That also reminds me, you want to be very careful when you're approaching the sausage curb just up ahead right here, because as I said in the lap guide, if you get hooked onto it because you took it wrong or you didn't have the clearance, it's going to screw you over like this. So you want to be very careful about how you approach that turn. But anyways, I think that's all I have for this guide, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign off. So this is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.